Hi friends, I am super excited about today. Do you know why? Because I'm going to be doing a social studies lesson with you. Today we are going to be learning about some super fun stuff, and I'm so excited to learn along with you. Now, we're still going to be learning about the same information and talking about the same information that's in your textbook. I'm just going to be using a different book today. But if you want to keep learning more after we're done, you can go ahead and read your textbook. Now, before we start, we need two things. Do you know what they are? You're right. We need a notebook and a pencil. So go ahead and pause this video while you go and get your things. And now that you're back, we're going to be doing some vocabulary before we start. This lesson, we have 4 vocabulary words. So the first word that we have is this one. Do you know what this word says? Let's spell it together. F-A-V-O-R-I-T-E. Do you know what this word says? This word says favorite. Have you ever heard of that word before? Do you know what favorite means? What do you think it means? When I think of the word favorite, I think of the things that I like the most. I think of ice cream and pizza. Those are some of the things that I like the most. So I'm going to put here that favorite means things I like the most. Now, I know that we're not going to be reading from your textbook today, but if you want to write down the vocabulary words with the definitions that we come up with, feel free to. All right, we're going to move on to the next vocabulary word. Do you know what this word says? First, let's spell it together. S-O-L-V-E. Do you know what this word says? This word says solve. Have you heard the word solve before? I bet you have, maybe in a math class or a math lesson. What do you think solve means? When I think of the word solve, I think of math problems. And I think that when a question is asking me to solve something, it's asking me to find the answer to that problem or to a question. So I'm going to put here, find answer to a question or problem. Perfect. Okay, here's the next word. Let's spell it together. M-A-R-B-L-E. Do you know what this word says? This word says marble. Have you heard of the word marble before? What do you think a marble is? Or what does marble mean? Now, I know what a marble is because I've used marbles before as counters to help me solve math problems. A marble is a little small glass ball. So I'm going to write a small glass ball. All right, here's the last vocabulary word that we have. Let's spell it together. V-I-D-E-O, then there's a space, G-A-M-E-S. Let's first read this word. Do you know what this word says? This word says video. V-I-D-E-O, video. Do you know what this word is? This word says games. G-A-M-E-S. So let's put the two words together. We have video games. Now, I know most of you probably know what video games are, but can you tell me? Now, I know that when you play a video game, you end up seeing a game on a screen. So I'm going to write game on a screen. Okay, perfect. We are all done coming up with definitions for our vocabulary words. Now, if you need a minute to maybe finish writing out the definitions, go ahead and pause this video. All right, friends, now we are going to read our first lesson in this new social studies book that I will be reading from. The title of this book is Toys and Games, Past and Present. What do you think that this book may be about? Let's read what is on the back of this book. So this is what the author is telling us this book is going to be about. How do the toys and games children played with in the past compare to the toys of the present? So that makes me think that this book is going to be about toys and games that children from long ago used to play with, and toys and games that children play today during the present. But let's read this book and then we can learn together. Toys and games through history. Playing is fun. Kids have always liked to play. I know that I love to play. The way kids play has changed. Years ago, children played marble games. Oh, there's a vocabulary word. Let's see if our definition was right. Large marbles knocked smaller marbles out of a ring. So it seems like marbles are little glass balls that children used to play with. And over here we can see that it looks like they drew a circle in the dirt. Now many kids play video games. They press buttons to win points and solve puzzles. Whoa, here are two vocabulary words. I see the word video games and I see the word solves. So first, video games, we were right. Video games are games that are played and you need to use an electronic screen. And these kids have game controllers that they are using to play their video games. And solve, we were also right about solve because we said that when you solve something, you're finding the answer or solution to a problem or a question. And putting together puzzles can definitely sometimes be a problem. Kids used to make phones out of cans. A string connected the cans. This looks really cool. Have you ever made a phone out of cans? I used to make a phone out of cans when I was a little girl and when I was playing with my little brother. It was a lot of fun. These days, kids still like to make things, but they can use cell phones to chat. Have you ever made your own toy? Have you ever made your own toy? Tell me about it. I remember that when I was a little girl, I used to like to make my own board games and play them with my family. Kids used to roll hoops on the ground for fun. They tried to keep the hoops moving. Hey, I have a question. What does this hoop maybe remind you of? This hoop reminds me of a hula hoop. Have you ever played with a hula hoop? I love hula hoops. I even used a hula hoop in a talent show. Now kids play outside in different ways. They may even play with toys they fly themselves. Whoa, have you ever played with a toy that looks like this? Kids used to play sports like soccer and baseball, and they still do. Some games have stayed the same. What other sports do you think kids used to play? I think that kids maybe used to play sports like basketball, um, maybe softball, maybe tennis. Toys and games were different long ago, but kids have always enjoyed having fun. What is your favorite toy or game? And here is our fourth vocabulary word. Now, when we said the definition of favorite, we said that it was something that you liked the most. So, seeing the word in this sentence definitely makes me think that we were right with our definition. But anyway, what is your favorite toy or game? My favorite toy or game, I think would maybe have to be Legos. I love playing with Legos. Alright, And then here it says then and now. So let's first read the then side. Then. Kids played marble games. Kids talked on tin can phones. Kids rolled hoops. And now today, under today, we have kids play video games, kids talk on cell phones, and kids play with toys that fly. And over here are the 4 vocabulary words with their definitions. So for favorite, they have something you like the most. We were right about that. Over here, it says marble, and it says a glass ball used in children's games. We were also right about that. Over here, it says solve, and it says to find the answer to a puzzle or a problem. We were right about that. And over here, it says video games. Games played on electronic screens. We were also right about that. High five! Oh, the end. Before we finish, I have a question. Which toy from long ago do you think looks the most fun? I think the hoops look the most fun. What do you think about the hoops? Alright friends, it was so much fun doing this social studies lesson with you, and I cannot wait to hopefully get to do another social studies lesson with you. Alright friends, have a great rest of your day. Bye!